Hello and welcome back to another episode of the CrossFit Harrow podcast. This is episode 54 and we want to keep sharing more stories with you. So today we have Sri. Now Sri's been with us roughly coming up to a year now, I believe. And we're going to share a story. A lot of it will be to getting to know him, his experiences. And Sri, thank you for joining us today, mate. One of the first questions, obviously, for the guys that maybe have never, seen or been in the same class as you, is like, what brought you to CrossFit Harrow?
So I think it was like most people you ask a question to, they always start talking about lockdown.
Yeah.
And I think I'm gonna be in that category as well.
Yeah.
A part of me. But I think the main thing was I just made the decision that I'm not gonna be able to do this on my own.
Yeah.
And going to the gym, because I've been a member at so many gyms, I could tell you about at least 4 or 5 gyms. And it's not the gym, it's me.
Yeah.
That's what the issue is. And I'm just not comfortable doing it on my own. And I thought, this is probably the right place to start.
So that's actually quite interesting that you said that, like, you realised that you're not going to be able to do this on your own. Like, what was the because I obviously own the gym, experience working in fitness for a long time, I find that a lot of people will maybe inquire or find that they want to do it, but will try and do it on their own. What was it for you that kind of turning point to be like, actually, no, do you know what? I can't do this on my own and I need help? Because it's quite hard to say I need help.
Yeah, but I think, obviously I'm not there when you sign up other people, but when I was signing up, I'd already made my mind up before I'd come in.
Yeah.
So when you were talking, I was just like,
I'm ready to sign.
I'm ready to sign the dotted line, just take my money. Literally, I was like, yeah, go on. You were like, you can do the 3, 6 or the 9, but I recommend the 6. I was like, we'll do the 6 then. Like, I'd already made up my mind because there's only so many times you can start something and stop it until you're basically like, it's not working for me.
Yeah.
I give up.
Yeah, it's fascinating. It's like that discipline to be like, no, or realization to be like, I need help. But maybe as males as well, this is like another thing to talk about, but it's not often people put your hand up and go, look, I need help. We try and figure it out by ourselves.
Definitely. And I think, because I'd already made that decision, like, literally, the way I even found you guys was I went on Google and I typed in gyms in Harrow, looking at them, then I saw this gym. And obviously I'm not aware of how many CrossFit gyms there are in Harrow anyway. So then I typed
just as a pin there, there's none others.
Yeah, I didn't. I searched it and I thought, this gym looks good, and like there's good reviews online as well. I didn't even think I read them in it anyway. I just saw the stars and I thought that's good enough.
I'm pleased that there are good reviews. I wouldn't want anything else.
Yeah. So then I thought, all right, let me come in and see, because I listen to this podcast, I hear you speaking about like how there's other people involved in fitness, and they just tell you what you want to hear, and then you basically sign up based on that. Yeah. So I already had a thought in the back of my mind that I didn't want this to be another one of those. Yeah. Because I've got no idea who you are anyway.
Yeah.
So I step in here, and then I thought, you know what? The only way I'll know that is if I do it. Yeah. I can listen to other people talking about it, or I can just do it, and we'll find out. So that's why when I say my mind was already made up, I thought, I'm going to try this. Yeah. If it works, it works. And I remember on my on-ramp sessions, when I did it with Laura, she was like, so why did you choose CrossFit? And I was like, to be honest, I don't know. She was like, yeah, but why? And I was like, I really don't know. I thought, this is one thing I haven't tried. Let me try it and see.
Something different and not what you've done in the past.
Yeah, as in, I don't think I'll be comfortable to do what I've tried again in the past again. Because if I fail it too many times, I'll just give up, and then I won't go back after that.
Yeah. And then you're always like chasing fitness then, or not even getting anywhere near it.
Exactly. So I thought this would be the right place to start, and I think when we did start, I just felt a bit more comfortable.
Giving you the confidence, like,
definitely.
What would you say you've learned over this period, like about yourself maybe, like in this period of time?
Probably one of the main things is I just got to focus on myself.
Yeah.
That's number one. Because there's literally no point comparing to someone else or to something else. Just trying to focus on me doing it for me as well.
Yeah. And naturally, everyday person, business owner, fitness is on your list.
Yeah.
But it's probably not the top thing on your list.
Yes. And even I remember when I signed up, you said, why do I want to am I signing up because someone else is making me sign up? You were asking me that. And I was like, no, literally, I've just made the decision on my own. I want to do it for myself.
Yeah.
I'm not doing it so I can tell everyone this is what I'm doing.
Yeah, yeah.
I just want to do it by myself.
Yeah,
and that is that's what really brought me here. And I think that's what's driving me to continue doing it.
Yeah.
Because obviously giving up is easy, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
So I think that's mainly what it was.
Okay, and then obviously there's been a lot of challenges over the last 12 months, and it's a testament to really of how serious you were and the investment you made in yourself, because it's not like you started CrossFit at the easiest time. It was only a short time before we were into another lockdown, so you hadn't actually really had a big chance to explore. Similar to Lindsay last week, didn't have a massive chance to explore really what CrossFit was about on a long-term basis. So a lot of challenges within that, and it's a testament to your self-discipline that you've kept it up and wanted to keep it up.
Yeah, definitely. I think because, like I said, I'd made the decision. Like I knew the only way to really I can't give up halfway, and then afterwards be thinking, imagine I didn't give up, what would have happened then? Yeah. So I thought you're either in or you're out, innit?
Yeah. Yeah.
So because I'd already made that decision, I thought this is what we're doing.
And then obviously with lockdown, how did you manage, as I said, business, and how did you manage work, the challenge that you faced at work with trying to maintain a level of fitness, knowing that actually there's no expectation at the moment, it's just we're ticking over?
Well, I think the hardest one for me was the lockdown that we just had now.
Okay.
Because that's lockdown 3, isn't it?
Yeah.
So there was parts where in the beginning, you're just happy to be doing something. Then it stopped and I'm still interested to do it.
Yeah.
But then by lockdown 3, I was like, if I fall off,
it would feel like it would feel it was all wasted.
Literally. And it's going to be hard to get back on. And then I might feel like my time doing other things, then I might never do it. So I was feeling because I remember when you called everyone in it after this lockdown, and I was like, I'm so happy this guy called me, because me even calling you, that's a number of conversations I've got to have in my head first with myself before I even do that.
Yeah, you're weighing up.
Me, I'm like, he's called me now, so it's just a yes or a no, innit?
Yeah.
And I was happy that I was able to keep doing something over lockdown, which is something better than nothing.
Yeah.
So I think it was just, like you said, fitness is not at the top of my list, but it's on the list.
Yeah, and it's just prioritising it at relevant times. So,
exactly.
Exactly. With that scenario of lockdown, obviously, the implications that with work, that was severe, low, medium. How was that with you with regards to that?
Well, I think, you see, when I come in here, I'm not really thinking about work.
Yeah.
So as a business owner, yourself, you can think about work all the time.
All day.
Literally all day, all night even.
Yeah.
So when I'm in here, I'm not thinking about work, and I feel I need that downtime in myself as well.
Yeah.
So it's, what could I describe it as? It's like a release, isn't it, really? Because it's time to just focus on something else, and I'm actually invested in being here at the time. Yeah? When I'm here, I'm listening and I'm engaged, and I feel like it's just good for me.
Yeah.
To just get away from things sometimes.
Yeah, just your own time.
Yeah.
How? Let's kind of rewind back to growing up and stuff. Were you a sporty kid at school? Were you into sport? No.
No. Well, in fact, growing up, I was always really skinny.
Okay.
And but I wasn't sporty at all, and I was always eating junk food as well. So everyone was just like, "How's this guy doing that?"
Yeah.
So then, but slowly, I've been feeling like it's been catching up with me, especially now, since I was 20, start earning money as well. So then there's just no limit in it.
Yeah.
Just eat what you want all the time, go out whenever you want, etc.
Not a lot of
responsibilities.
Yeah,
that's another thing. So I feel slowly things are catching up with me. And this is a funny story actually. At a gym that I was part of a while back, and at this gym, never working out yet. Just go in there.
Socials.
Just use some dumbbells for 20 minutes, watch the clock a few times, then go to the steam room, innit? Steam room is good for
We've
you
all
as
done
well.
it. We'll
get rid of
I'll sweat a little bit more in the steam room.
So I go to the steam room, So I was in the steam room, and this guy come in, much older guy.
And you what, 20s?
I was 21 or something. This guy was ripped, and he was like, "Oh, how's your workout?" And I'm thinking, there wasn't really a workout anyway.
This is my workout.
So having a little chat, and then he goes, "So what are you trying to do? What are you trying to do in the gym?" I was like, yeah, you know, I'm trying to look better, I'm trying to feel better, etc., etc., etc. And then he goes, all right. He was like, can I ask you, what does your dad look like? And I was like, what? And he was like, no, I'm asking you because you're young now, and like you look like not overweight or anything, but you seem to be like concerned. But in my experience, what your dad looks like is how you'll end up looking like.
Don't tell me that.
That's what he's telling me.
I'm thinking about my dad.
He was telling me this, and I was like, oh yeah. He's like, yeah. So like that's why I always tell my son, like, just because I'm ripped, you're not gonna end up like this. I'll put in work for this.
Yeah.
But if I wasn't putting in work, and I was looking like this is how your DNA is gonna make. This is how your genetics gonna end up making you look.
And
like.
was that like a little bit of a realization?
Realization, and also because like I'm putting on weight as well, and I'm thinking, imagine he's right. This guy looks like he's on something. So I was like, you know what, I've got to take this a little bit more seriously. But stop going to that gym because I realised I'm just wasting my time.
But that's also a massive thing within fitness, and obviously, like we try and talk about this to a lot of people that walk through the doors, and just in general, like a lot of people will spend months of the year trying to put weight on, and I get it if that's what you want to do, like you want to add mass, and you've got a personal goal that because most people go, I want to lose weight, but there are people that do want to put weight on.
I was trying to put on weight as well before.
Yeah, but there are like various ways to do that, and most people often think like it's just a case of like lifting heavy weights and eating a lot of food. There's obviously that is one way to do it, but in terms of like becoming fit, that's not fit. That's just reaching that goal of like adding weight and adding muscle. So it's quite interesting to see that for someone else on the other side of the thing is like I wasn't wanting to lose weight. I was actually wanting to put weight on.
Yeah, I mean, this is another thing where I say that I definitely never compare myself because you might look at someone who you think is quite skinny, but that person's trying to lose weight, and you're like, what?
Yeah.
But then you might see someone who you think is quite built, and that person's like, nah, man, I need these gains. And you're thinking, there's no point in comparing them because this guy's not thinking what you're thinking.
Yeah, and that's very interesting because I find, in my experience, that I do think when you start going to the gym, no matter what you do suffer a level of like body dysmorphia.
Yeah.
You do look at yourself in a very different way. Like your food plate almost looks different. It's like you now start to think of things of proteins, fats, and carbs. You might look at yourself in a reflection and go, like, I'm this or I'm that, or someone will, but then someone else's opinion of you will be completely different to what you perceive that to be.
Yeah, definitely. But not to go on a tangent.
We love tangents.
All right, so we're actually programmed to think in a certain way.
Yeah, I believe
that might not be the right way. Yeah, whatever the right way is. Because, like I said, there's loads of people who are like really skinny, but then they're like not trying to eat breakfast, for example, or something.
Because we think that's the norm.
Yeah. But surely that can't be normal.
Well, no, it's not. I don't think so. And like as a team, the key word at the moment, the buzzword, there'll be people listening to this that'll be laughing as I say this, but it's changing the narrative of like, that's not what we have to be. There isn't a size that is perfect for everyone. There isn't a image that is for guys, that you can be what the fuck you want to be and however you feel. And it goes back to, similar feelings of how Lindsay felt about herself last week. Same, you have to feel good about you and not care about anyone else. Yeah,
and it's like, you got to know who you're taking advice off as well.
Yeah.
Like, because I listen to this podcast and you speak about some people who are just like selling some crap to you, yeah? And you're thinking, I'll buy that crap because like he looks how I'm trying to look. So therefore,
I can just buy it and I'll look like that.
Basically. But
there'll be the same people 2 years, 3 years later that are having psychological issues.
Or they'll be onto a new product by then.
But they'll then tell you. They'll then tell you not to buy it because they've had, let's say as an example, as a female, she sold you a fat loss program. And 2 years later, she has a child, and she's having implications of her like skin stretching and hormones, or she's there's things that are not regulated because of X, Y, and Z damage that she's done. But she'll tell you now not to do it. So 2 years ago, she tried to sell it to you, and now she's like, don't do it.
Yeah. But it's difficult to avoid these. Yeah. Like even if they write ad on there, you're thinking, well, surely this must be good for me, innit?
But we must, like, just as a nation, like we must be a bit more clued on than that.
Nah, man, we're not. Unfortunately, I don't think we are. Because otherwise the companies wouldn't be doing well, and all these companies are doing seriously well, and they're paying them influencers good money to do it because it works for them. But each person has to have their own filter. Like you need to listen to things and know I am doing that or I'm not doing that. And you have to make that investment for a long period of time. See, like you said, I've been here for almost a year. So what is it? Should I just like stop coming here and is fitness complete or what?
That's a good point. A lot of people do think that. Like I've done CrossFit or whatever they do. It could be anything, boxing, jiu-jitsu, whatever. They do it, and then it's almost like, well, I've done it for a few months. Like I should be at this destination, and it's like, no, there isn't a destination. It will never stop. You don't just go one day, boom, tick a box and go. I've got these shoulders, I've got these arms, I've got these abs. You know, it doesn't work like that. It's very interesting to say that.
Yeah, no, because like you said, it is about changes to your lifestyle instead of temporary changes. And this is the issue because like they market these like vitamins and stuff, or supplements, and the people selling them to you look the way you want to look. So you're gonna buy it. Yeah. You're gonna buy it either way.
It could be 3 times the amount that you're willing to pay for it.
Yeah.
But in your head, you've convinced yourself that if you do that, then you'll look.
So this is what I'm saying. So we're not more clued up.
Yeah, I guess so.
We're not more clued up because we do.
I'd like to believe that we, I get it.
I mean, there's got to be a filter on you, otherwise you'll be buying everything. Yeah. But I'm just saying, like, to the point where if you've decided this is what you're going to do, this is the route you're going to take. I think the first step is to accept it's going to take a long time. You can't sign up to the gym and say, I beef for 2021 and then fitness complete after that. Yeah. Not really, innit? Yeah. Like if you want to make yourself better. Since I've joined here, I feel better, innit? I feel better. And it's not about the next guy, but I feel better.
And that's the main thing. And it's not necessarily always about like the aesthetic or the physical stuff. It's you feeling better. Like sitting here makes me happy that you've achieved that because
I feel better.
It goes a long way.
And you see, sometimes, like, I've known people who go to the gym for like the last 4 or 5 years and they look exactly the same. I'm not about to come and tell them, what the hell are you doing in the gym? You look exactly the same for the past 4 years. Surely that brings them some kind of happiness to go there. They want to go there. So please go and do it.
Yeah,
don't worry about me. Yeah. If that makes you happy, please go and do it. Yeah. So I feel like whether I achieve every goal or not, I will achieve some. And I'm achieving some. Every week that goes by. After the first class I had in there, I was finished, I was finished. Like, I couldn't even keep up. I was thinking, what the hell are these guys doing? It was like prison. I was thinking, I was literally in the class thinking, now surely we're not doing this 3 times a week. Yeah? This can't be fitness, Then I was like, nah, I've got a long way to go, Whatever plans I had before, starting again, and that is really a long way to go.
Yeah, it is a starting a new, like, it's a new chapter, and like any expectations that people had on themselves about they should be this, they shouldn't. They should just enjoy the process of doing it. Yeah. And I think in your case, where you haven't chased that outcome and you've just enjoyed the process, is where you've ultimately had the most success.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, so like early 20s, there was that realization in the sauna. That conversation, and then what age are we? We're now similar age, 30.
I'm 28 now.
28. Okay, so we went mid-20s, started moving into the gym a little bit more.
No, I think not really actually. So the issue is when I had the realization, what I really realized was like you need to put in a lot of effort into this, which you do, and I wasn't sure if I'm ready to put that kind of effort in. There was a part where I basically just accepted that this is not for me, innit? Yeah. I'll just live a normal life, and that will be me. And
just remain as fit and healthy as you mentally and physically feel.
Exactly, yeah. And that was like for the longest time. Then, life happens. You realize life's short as well. Yeah. And then you just think, look, is this how I want to go out or not?
Yeah. And imagine telling yourself you can't have a packet of crisps or you can't have a chocolate.
This is the thing where I would never want to push the gym onto anyone. This is your job because you own this gym. But I don't push the gym onto anyone. I don't push anything onto anyone because if you don't want to do it, don't do it. That's the way I see it as well. Sometimes that's difficult for me at work because how am I supposed to tell my team to do something if they don't want to do it? But that's my policy. Yeah? If you don't want to do it, don't do it because it's not prison. There's not jail in it. So if you don't want to do it, don't do it. I don't want to ever push the gym onto anyone because if that doesn't work for them, that's not going to make them happy. Yeah. So why would you want to run 20 minutes on the treadmill and be sweating, your legs don't work for 3 days afterwards?
If you're not happy.
Exactly. So I'd rather you just don't do it.
And find something else that you're happy.
That's it. Like, I'm happy coming here, so I'm going to do that. For me, I can't tell the next guy, come to CrossFit Harrow, it's going to make you so happy. You've got to come and see for yourself.
Yeah.
And everyone's different. For me, this works. Yeah. And I'm happy that I found something that works for me. It might not work for me in 4 years' time. I'm not trying to act like, when I'm 50, I'm still gonna be doing
it goes like different stages of your life. Like,
that's it.
You by then it could be addition to family, like you could be moving. Like at that time, right now, this is, although it's not top of your list, it's in your.
But also because like the way this gym works different to other gyms. Because another gym, I'll be like, I'll go on Saturday after lunch. Imagine that's what I'm thinking. But then Saturday comes, I might have gone out on Friday. So Saturday, and I've only woke up at 11. Then I might be like, I'll just go gym tomorrow. But then tomorrow's Sunday, and then I might not be on it. They'll be like 6 o'clock, and I'll be like, gym's shut now. There'll be something in the way every time. But here, I've basically booked my time. I know I'm coming here, and that's on the list now.
Yeah, I don't ever think I've seen you ever cancel a session.
I've cancelled once.
Have you?
Yeah, I was ashamed of myself. I've cancelled once.
I've not seen it, so if you'd not said that, I wouldn't have known. So now, obviously, like moving into like the kind of work side, when did you get into the business like side of things? Is that always been you? Did you come out of school and know you wanted to do that?
Yeah, well, I did know I wanted to do something. I did know I wanted to work on myself from probably when I was like 6 years old, maybe, or whenever you start thinking about things.
Selling Haribo's at school.
Literally. But I went to uni, and then I come out and I was working for a few years, and really the way I opened this business was almost, you could say, like by accident.
Yeah. So it's a florist, obviously, that you own.
Yeah, but I opened it as there was not a florist there before.
Okay.
The shop was empty, and I was like, this would be really good here. And then I inquired in it, and the next thing led on to the next thing, and then they were like, go on then, come on, sign these papers. And I was like, what?
And what age were you then?
20.
Wow.
What was that? Yeah, I was 20, yeah. No, was I 20? 2015, how old was I? 5 years ago. I was 23.
23.
I was 23, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, that's another thing, because once you make a commitment, like that, there's no way out, really, yeah. So I feel like doing that early on in my life kind of made me accustomed to like committing to things, and that's something I probably would have struggled with before.
There must have been quite a lot of lessons on the way, being 20 and starting your own business. But what was in there before you put the florist in? Nothing.
Yeah, it was empty for a while.
So
it was a cafe before. It's literally next door to the station. It was a cafe for a long time. So I went to school around there. So it was a cafe for quite a few years, and it was shut for maybe about.
So you are literally
years.
everything's starting from scratch. There's no repeat business already. It's been closed.
Yeah. So I started that when I was in 2015, and like every year, I have goals as well for the business as well. So every year I'm trying to do certain things, and I'm like, because I don't have any partners in the business, it also helps me like. The only person accountable is me. So if the ship sinks or swims, that's on me, which it helps me sometimes because it makes me make the right decisions, even if they're not the ones I want to make.
Yeah, but sometimes you're not. I would say, like even from my experience, you're not supposed to. You don't always get the decisions right. Like
you definitely don't.
Yeah, and that's like.
In fact, sometimes you get loads wrong.
So wrong.
Yeah, which it makes you better though.
Yeah.
Because it makes you realise for the next time that might not work.
And it's so cliche to say like life's lessons, or you got to fail a lot of times. But for anyone that is listening to this that has things of starting their own business, there's like you are going to lose a lot of the time.
Yeah.
But it's a long-term win.
But it's difficult. I think doing business now compared to doing business before. Because when I was growing up and I was thinking I want to open my own business, I used to see business owners like the sign is spelled wrong. Yeah, they can't even spell. Some of them can't even read. And you're thinking, if this guy can make money, surely I can do it.
Yeah.
But I don't think so. Because you put all your energy into it, you think you're a smart individual, but you'll be struggling with some things.
Yeah.
Which it makes you feel like, well, how's everyone else doing this then?
Yeah.
Surely everyone else is not reading things like I am and putting in this much work to not get this much return. But it's part of the process, isn't it?
But I guess it's building that network around you of people that can add to that. Like no one can go anywhere on their own. Like no matter how much success, how much money, how much business someone can make, they've never done it on their own. You're going to have to outsource things. Like you'll learn so much from someone else who they might have run the exact same race as you, or they might have run a similar race, but you're learning from them.
Yeah, and it's another thing where you're going to struggle to give advice to someone else because their journey's not going to be the same as yours.
Yeah, and especially starting it so, like for you, starting it so young at 20, that like part of the point I was getting to before is that might have been quite hard for you at times and people around you to be in that such a senior position.
Well, no, that's a funny one you say that, because to me it didn't feel like a senior position. Because when we started the business, firstly, we didn't make any money. So
which also people think they're going to make straight away.
This is the thing, including me, before I started. So you're now running this business, you spend every penny opening this business. You're working 25/8. But then your peers who also studied with you are off doing their 9 to 5, going home, turning off.
Yeah.
Making their money that they're supposed to get at the end of the month, and you're thinking, have I made the worst decision ever? Then you think, either I could accept that I have and give it up. You can't really, but you can almost.
Well, you go to doing. I believe that there's two types of people in the world. There's people who are very good at systems and processes, and they're supposed to work for people. And then there's also the people that are very creative and need to have their own freedom.
Because someone said a similar thing to me, and they described them as people who are reactive and people who are proactive.
Yeah. You often find that it is proactive and reactive, but also how to manage a situation that doesn't go your way. So a lot of people with things that, they might be in business or they might be working with someone else and don't like something, or they haven't closed a deal, or they don't like something in a certain whatever. But then don't bounce from that. Like, they've learned nothing from it. They don't deal properly with coming out of that, and they never learn. It's wanting to. Something doesn't go your way. Right, fine. It hasn't gone my way this time. One, what has it taught me? And two, how can I change the outcome for next time?
Yeah.
And that's where I think, automatically, I think those who are proactive to stuff will already anticipate that, and those who are reactive, I feel, will always they won't have those answers.
Both people are needed.
Yeah, equally as important. Yeah, equally as important.
Both people are equally as important. So some people they would look down on the reactive people, thinking that they're lesser than. But really, you need it's like the cogs in a machine, yeah. Because without them, you're not going to be able to do this.
Yeah.
And without you, they're not going to be able to do this.
Yeah.
So you're right when I said I think everyone is equal in that stage. And also because there are some people who are wildly successful doing that.
Yeah.
Because that's what they're good at.
Yeah.
But if me or you was to sit in that position, we might be so crap at that.
Yeah.
So
everyone's got a gift. Everyone has a talent.
That's what I'm saying. I do think that, really. Yeah. Because I have to delegate tasks to people that in my team who I think are good at certain things. If I can just do everything.
Delegating is not easy also.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you feel like you want to do it because it will be done a certain particular way.
Yeah. But see, this is the thing, because if you ever want to scale and you can't delegate,
you're never going to scale.
You're never going to scale.
Yeah.
Because there's only one of you in it. There's times in my business where I didn't have staff and I was thinking, imagine there was 2 of me.
Yeah.
You just think about that and you're thinking, nah, that's cheating. Because everyone else is making it, there's only one of them.
Yeah.
So then there's no other way to do it.
Yeah.
You have to give some tasks to other people.
Yeah. You
could do everything on your own,
but
you have to limit yourself to what you're going to achieve. If you're ready to do that, it's fair enough.
Yeah. And some people have success on their own. It's just what works for the individual,
or
whatever the goals and ambitions are for that business or the individual.
Yeah, definitely.
So that started from scratch. And that was early 20s. At what point were you starting to be like, right, I've got some momentum with business, this is, you've always been on that site, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think when was the momentum growing? So I'm in the second site in the city. And
how long after that was?
2 years.
Okay.
It's the same landlord.
Okay, fine.
So that went really well, and then the buildings were like, we're going to renovate everything, so everyone has to get out. And I was thinking, all right, what can I do to make this really work? You got to adapt the business in it really quickly.
Same as what people,
So
you've had that lesson.
Lockdowns. Same with the lockdowns, yeah. So I thought, okay, let's focus on the delivery, or let's focus on something that we can scale. And I always try and take my team's opinions on things, because I can only think for myself, but they've got different ideas and they've got different experiences. They'll think of things differently. So I feel like after last year, which was not last year, sorry, year before, 2019, I feel like we started getting quite good momentum. But then 2020 came and was like, everything's just got to stop. And I remember thinking, luckily, just before then, I felt like we had some momentum, which meant more or less we'd be okay. But I was thinking, imagine COVID hit like a year after I'd started my business. I don't think we would have been able to survive that. And I was thinking about all the other people who have just started their businesses, thinking,
yeah, it's fucking.
boy, they're making you take out loans now, which is all good and well when you take the loan out and you've got the money, but then
Got to pay back.
when the paying back period starts, and it's so difficult to pay it back, yeah. So I was thinking, surely everyone's not going to be able to pay these loans back. Surely there's going to have to be something else that happens.
Yeah.
Because the government's like, we'll back your loan. How? How are you going to back the loan?
I don't even know where this money's come from.
Same. I'm mind blown by it anyway. But we'll have the answers in 2 years' time from now.
Yeah, and you know what? So giving that money to a lot of businesses, and I think it was a great thing to do.
It was, yeah, definitely.
But actually, they're along the, and it's probably supported a lot of businesses through that period. But actually, some might not be able to get themselves out of that.
I mean, it depends how their business is set up.
Yeah.
As well. But I remember when I started, I couldn't even get a coffee machine on the business because they were like, bring me this accounts, bring me those accounts. I'm like, for a coffee machine, seriously? They're like, yeah, you're going to have to personally guarantee it. And I was thinking, surely, how does everyone else start their business then?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I thought, so there was different time and age, as in, you started very early. I started this in 2015. I didn't have to go through some of those things, but I remember being like, I don't think I can buy that, or I need this, but I'm not sure if I can afford it.
Yeah.
Was there any other times, even before this whole COVID situation, was there any times you thought, fuck, I could be in trouble here?
Yeah, loads of times. See, this is the reason why I was saying before, I would struggle to give somebody else advice because their journey is not going to be the same as mine. The only thing that's going to be the same in the journey is there going to be loads of times where you messed up, there'll be loads of times where you lost money, there'll be loads of times where you think, what the hell am I doing? That's the only thing that will be the same.
And sometimes I think early on when you start business, this is opinion that you think money's everything.
Yeah.
It's very important, obviously.
Yeah, definitely.
But there's more to business than just money.
Yeah.
And a lot of,
Sure.
I think from an outside, obviously I've been in that situation as well. But watching others or seeing things that people often find now, I've got to make money. You're like, well, yeah, you do, but there's a lot of other ways to do it.
Yeah, of course.
It's not just about buy and sell.
Exactly. And I feel like, you see, I've seen loads of people talking about shopping locally, yeah? And of course, it's a good thing to do.
Yeah.
But I almost feel like they're trying to turn that into a charity now, like shopping locally. It's not a charity though.
Yeah.
If you don't feel like you can get a good deal or a good product or a good service locally, don't shop locally then.
Yeah.
It's up to the local business to be able to win you over with that.
Yeah, and to meet kind of almost an expectation as
That's what I'm
or the
saying.
business has got an expectation. This is what we promise. This is what we want to deliver.
Yeah.
And offer that to those people.
Yeah, I mean, I don't like personally the narrative of pushing people to shop local just for the sake of it.
Yeah.
I
do understand that.
What, for the sake of it, you mean?
As in what you said about pushing.
It's up to the
people,
business to do better because
I can see that.
There's I can't say I'm the only one selling flowers, period. There's going to be so many other thousands of companies doing it.
And they're going to continue to keep coming.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And they might be growing at 5 times the pace that I'm growing. But if I don't believe that I am doing something either slightly better or different or something that differentiates me, then I'm going to have to get left in the wind as well. So I really do feel like shopping locally is good for everyone, but the shopkeeper's got to invest in that as well.
Yeah, I guess it meets in the middle, doesn't it? So
Exactly.
Yeah, you're asking a community to see what's available on their high street, as opposed the bigger the whole thing we've seen it on Amazon. No,
because I've seen a lot of shops close in the last 1 year, and majority of them have been chain shops as well. And people in the area get really upset when the chain shop closes because they feel like their area starts going down.
But is that also a reflection of
Yes.
the intimacy of the person who owns it with the community they have come into the shop?
But also because a business doesn't close down for the fun of it. Yeah, a business only closes down when they don't get enough money or they don't get the right reception from the people.
Yeah, and maybe they haven't scaled appropriately.
So I don't understand how people can be upset when a local business closes down. You didn't go there. Surely they closed down because they couldn't afford to stay there. Like I said, business never closes down for fun because it makes no sense to do that.
Yeah, yeah,
Surely
yeah.
you just sell it to someone else to run it, and then you just leave with your money.
Yeah.
When you close a business down, you lose. Someone loses somewhere.
Yeah.
So a business closing down is the direct result of either that business not
of patterns or
Yes.
behaviours over the last X amount of time.
This is the thing, and I'm noticing now loads of banks closing on the high streets everywhere, and these are places that you kind of almost need on the high street.
Which is sad because obviously the amount of people's jobs that are with that as well.
Exactly, that as well. But you see, if all the banks close and the post offices close, etc., there's not really going to be a need to go out to the high street because you can do everything else online. You can bank online as well, but if you've got money, for example, you need to go and put in, or you have a check physically, you need to go.
Well, there would just be one in a certain radius as opposed to,
But that's not going to make the high street boom.
Yeah.
So that's a whole nother avenue that you need to explore. I don't have the answers, so I don't know what's going to happen.
Do you find that you still get a lot of business in person?
Since after every lockdown, we get like a surge of customers wanting to just buy stuff just because they can. But during lockdown as well, which is a bit funny anyway, but I know all the friends are feeling the same thing. Lots of people come to the shop and they're like, "Well, can I come in?" You're like, "No, we're in lockdown, isn't it?" They're like, "What? Why?" Well, it's not me. All the shops are closed. It's only the essential shops that are open. You can call us and order, but you can't come in. I find that mad because it's literally on every news channel every hour talking about how shops are closed. But some people don't get it.
Just people, it's going back to that feel, I don't wish for high streets to close and shops and all that to close. I don't think anyone does, but
Same.
There are times where, if you've shopped in a certain shop for so long and whether it be clothing, your size, you don't even need to, you can just order it. Like there's certain things I know, I don't even have to, I just order it. But there's also things that you want to try on. You want to feel, like in your case, the flowers, they might want to smell that.
They might want to see it in person. Yeah. And also, a lot of florists are notorious, online ones, are notorious for just sending out crap.
Yeah.
So they also don't want to be the victim of that because there's so many victims of that.
Yeah.
So,
is that quite big in your industry? Yeah.
Yeah, that's huge. That's huge. Buying flowers online and getting
shit ones back.
Yeah, or sometimes not even getting the flowers. That's another thing. But yeah, that's big in the industry.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's huge. And I think that's what stops a lot of customers from doing it. It's like
and that's why they want it in person.
You know, online banking when it came out, when there'd be a large majority of people not even trying. I didn't even want to hear it because the scammers were so rife.
Yeah.
But now I hear adverts saying if you get scammed, we'll give you your money back. Please shop online. Please bank online.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, see now they're trying to literally if you get scammed, don't worry about it.
It's alright.
We got you. At that point, you're just alright.
But there's also pros and cons with shopping with your credit card against your debit cards.
Yeah. That too. For the merchant as well.
Yeah, definitely. Has there anyone along the journey of of you opening the business been very influential, or is there someone that you listen to? Is there things that you see? Who's that been?
So before I had the shop, I was wholesaling flowers before.
Okay.
So I know some other really busy florists. I speak to. My industry is not that big, yeah. I know a lot of florists, especially in London, and I speak to them regularly, and they're all much older than me as well, so they know a lot more than me. So I do speak to them very often, and I know some just generally successful business people who I sometimes just
in different fields,
who I always like to just lean on a little bit sometimes and get some advice, because when you're doing it on your own, like I said, the responsibility starts and finishes with you.
Yeah, and you're not expected to have all the answers.
Yeah.
You shouldn't expect on yourself to have all the answers because we learn from people.
Yeah, the only way to know if you made the right decision or not is to do it and to see. That's a fact. But you can always take advice, and it's up to you what you do with that advice.
Yeah.
You don't have to take it. Some people might say, "Nah, it sounds a bit crap," but in your head, you already made your mind up. You were just getting a second opinion, but you didn't really care about it anyway. So I feel like in my business anyway, I kind of just go with my gut instinct a lot of the time.
But usually you feel that you find that your gut's right.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah.
You do. And sometimes when you're just not 100% about something, you'd rather just pull the plug even if you'd invested some money in it already. Do you know what I mean? Sometimes I buy something on a whim, and then I'm like, you know what? To utilise this, I need to spend another X amount of money buying other stuff. Or I can just call it quits now and just forget about it. Yeah. And sometimes that's the right decision.
Yeah.
Sometimes it is.
Yeah.
This is the thing.
You can't win on every situation.
You're ready to lose, in fact, most of the time.
Yeah.
Most of the time, you're like, when I buy this, if everything goes pear-shaped, will I be okay? That's the question I ask myself a lot of the time before I make any kind of investment. And if the answer is not likely to be yes, I'd rather not do it.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's helped me, especially in the last year, because you don't know what the government's going to tell us next week.
Yeah.
I find this so annoying, but I see in the media, just yesterday, there was an article saying London could have restrictions or something. I was like, give me a break. We just came out of lockdown 4 days ago. I mean, why would you even report it? It might be the case.
But there's, I think I actually said this in a podcast, and it's something that Denzel Washington said. He was speaking to a journalist asked some questions. Like, I agree with this. Like, the media don't really care what they put out. They don't care who it hurts or whether it's true or not. It's just they want to be out there first. And I think he said pretty much that. And there's no like consequences for it.
Yeah, there's not.
You know. And as a business owner, you can't really prepare for it. Like, you know, I remember when the lockdown was announced on that Friday. I don't think I went to bed till Saturday morning.
Well, just yesterday I was on the phone to a friend of mine. He's a restaurateur, and he's got loads of restaurants. He's got, I think, 4 or 5 now. And he was calling me to get my opinion, and I'm flattered when they call me for my opinion because I'm thinking,
you hold some value. Yeah.
So he called me and he was like, "What do you think I should invest in this outdoor seating?" Because he was like, well, I can only seat this many people in the space I have, etc. And you know the cost of these things, like furniture, it costs like $5,000 for like basic setup. The commercial furniture costs like 3 times the price.
And
anyway.
the thing is, it will be supply and demand now. Like they know they can only eat outside, so.
But he was basically saying, like, the roadmap to lockdown is looking like things should start reopening up again. But he's like, what if it doesn't? And if it doesn't, and in 2 months' time they're like, sorry, we've got to go back into lockdown, or London has to go back into lockdown, and at that point I start buying the furniture, I've lost that 2 months' revenue. Or I could buy it all now, and then they're like, oh, everything's back to normal. Then all that stuff's just going to end up in storage, which is going to cost me money as well.
Yeah.
And I was like,
no one's probably going to need that.
And then he's the one who sent me the article yesterday, and it was like, I think it's Independent or something, saying London might go into further restrictions. So he's thinking, yeah, maybe I should invest now. But in my head, I'm thinking, these newspapers are writing these articles because for them, it's writing an article, putting it out there, and getting click.
Yeah.
But it's affecting normal people. Like, I'm going to have to spend $6,000 buying garden furniture now, because otherwise, no one's going to come to my restaurant.
Yeah.
But this is,
and they might not even fill those seats. They might not fill those seats because of.
I've seen it, in fact.
Because of people being scared to go out or not vaccinated or whatever it might be, and they're gonna have a loss either way in some respect. They could spend that money, but by the time everyone goes back to normal, they still might not have made that money back.
The worst thing is, most of them are going to buy this stuff with the loan that they've taken.
Yeah.
And the bank's not going to be like, oh, you didn't make money. I just don't worry about it. They're going to be like, this is how much you owe.
Yeah, I want that interest. Money. I want that money back. Yeah.
Exactly. So then they're going to have a trade-off between, is my business worth this money, or should I just throw the towel in? Well, this is going to be sad to see, which is, I don't know what's going to happen, because I'm not an accountant. I don't know enough about accounts or business to tell you what is the right answer. But I assume the business is going to have to close down, the money's going to have to get written off.
Something that I found quite frustrating, and maybe you too, is that like some people have done 25 to 50 years of business, and in the space of like 3 months, let's go back to the first lockdown, or even a month, they had to shut shop.
Yeah.
And weren't, you know what? It's maybe the financial things. Obviously, that wasn't happen straight away, but maybe like a resource of like how to scale would obviously have been a lot better than maybe the financial stuff, because there's people that
also the issue is, which I don't even want to be saying this, but I kind of sympathise with the government on the fact that every business is so different.
Yeah.
And they're trying to come out with a one model fits all, which is mad. Anyway, it's mad as it is.
But there's also people trying to take opportunity of the finances that the government was supplying.
Yes. Yeah. That as well. And I feel like, obviously, I'm listening to these talk show radio stations. The business owner saying, I'm one of those people who's fallen through the cracks because this is the way I set up my business. Like, I remember one guy, he has a swimming business, but like he rents like 1 day of the swimming pool in his town or something. So technically he doesn't pay business rates. So therefore he didn't get any support from the thing.
But he probably does that to help his business stay alive.
Yeah. But then she's just like, oh my God, that's terrible. And I'm thinking, he only rents it for one day. What do you want him to give him?
But you got to, in that sense, like, he could be someone that has started 25 years ago. He's poured everything he's ever owned into it. You can't get back those man hours. You can't get back that money. You can't, that starting from scratch.
And this is the thing, because this is what makes me realise you can't rely on the government to be helping you. Like I said, it starts and finishes with you.
Yeah, and it's that accountability of you.
Yeah, you better make the right decisions, because you've got a team that's basing their whole life on you.
Yeah.
And they're expected to be paid because they put their trust in you to supply them with that. So this, I mean, beginning of lockdown, for sure, stress obviously through the roof, because you're thinking...
I can relate.
I remember lockdown 1 was so vague.
Everyone just
had
it.
no idea whether even this will all be done in like 2 years or something. And it was so vague. They were just like, yeah, everyone's going to have to close. And you're like, okay, then? And everyone's like, yeah, then we'll talk about it.
But absolutely.
But when?
Businesses are just trying to wing it, just to be like, what can I do to, stay afloat?
And then the difficult part is, now not everybody, but large majority of people are now at home, but being paid by the government. So those people are like, I might start a business as well. I might do something at home. Fair enough. I like that.
Which actually has been quite good for a lot of people.
Yeah, I like that. I like the idea of that.
The entrepreneurial
exactly. And it makes them get out of their comfort zone, which is good for them. But then now you've got so many businesses with not enough customers. There's not enough customers to go around. Everyone's making cakes from their house. There's not enough customers.
Yeah, that's a fair point.
And
they can't bring them anywhere, because at the time you're not allowed to go anywhere. The only way really to sell them is deliver. If they were, is delivery.
But the delivery businesses were seriously booming though.
Yeah. But then for an independent, someone who's gone, I'm going to make cakes from home. Now there's another cost that they've got. You've got to think about time, right? It takes me 4 hours to bake.
Yeah.
12 cakes, that's going to only make me X amount, but then the cost of blah 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 of having to send them out, that what I lose, and being able not to make them at that time by delivery.
Making, packaging, sending.
Yeah,
then
we spoke about packaging. We spoke about packaging in the past.
Yeah. Don't even want to get into that. Literally, it winds me up. That does.
So in terms of getting your influence, or like people you find most interesting, is business owners that are similar and also not in the same business as you, that you have conversations. And I would say, like, I would imagine that it'd be the owners of these businesses want to see each other do well.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think personally, most business owners
want to see
other people doing well, because they get how difficult it is, and they get how mentally draining it is. So most of the time, you just want somebody else to do well as well. But the issue is, you sometimes see some businesses take an absolute mick, but somehow they seem to be making good money. I mean, obviously, being selfish pays sometimes. Yeah, it does.
Yeah, it does.
Which is good for you.
But I don't think people sometimes understand that, because I think the reality is most people think about themselves. And they do. And there's nothing wrong with that. That's absolutely fine. But where a business has to be selfish, it's almost like, it's the best decision for the business, and that's that's that.
I mean, you could always say, look, you have a team of staff that's relying on you. You have creditors, you have bills, you have so many things to consider. And if this deal just doesn't work for the business, I can't do it, unfortunately. As much as I want to, I can't.
And there'll always be someone who is unhappy about
exactly.
That. Yeah.
And it's just about getting the majority of the people happy. And it's easier said than done, that is.
Yeah.
Trust me.
What would you tell your younger self if you were to start again? What would you tell your younger self?
I don't want to start again. Gosh, thinking about it.
It's hard, isn't it?
Yeah, man.
But it's also fun. and actually, in theory, for me personally, I felt like every lockdown, I feel like I've started a whole new business all over again. Maybe the same for you.
I mean, it has felt like that.
I think from your business, you'd already said that you'd gone online previous to this anyway.
Which helped us tremendously, literally.
Yeah.
Because I saw florists, them trying to set up websites, put themselves online. I already had made all those mistakes back 2-3 years ago. I was making those mistakes. Even when I opened my business up, literally, I was thinking, see what I'm going to do? I'm going to use technology for everything. I'm going to use technology for everything.
And I think
I'm not even going to
business-
make a normal telephone call. I'm going to make that through VoIP.
I think every business can.
Yeah.
It's just finding out how to scale
I had this
that.
conversation with you like months ago when I was saying, since I joined here, I like the way you guys use technology because, like, you've got the apps that schedule everything. It texts the people, it emails them.
Yeah.
You log scores on this thingy. You manage your membership on this thingy, and it's just like really easy for me. It's really easy, and some people might be like, too much technology everywhere, but it makes the business run easier. And I was thinking, I'm going to do this because most of the florists, they've got pen, paper, loads of filing cabinets, and all this crap. And I was thinking, no, we're not going to do it that way. We're going to really utilize technology for everything. So which gave us a head start, because when lockdown happened and they were like, you can only trade online, I was like, I'm ready.
Yeah, it's almost like nothing had changed in that respect. Yeah,
in that aspect, I was like, well, I kind of prefer this a little bit. It's
but then obviously
easier.
the footfall of people,
Yes.
things like that. And
But then I saw other people struggling because they were then trying to set up their website, but all the web designers are busy setting up everyone else's website because everybody wants to go online now.
Yeah.
And then they're going to have to wait. Then once the website comes out, then you'll see all the mistakes in it, because it takes you months to figure out some of the mistakes on your website. Customer will order something which is like £200, but you'll realise it was £20 on your website, and now they've paid for it, and you're just like, oh, I'm just gonna have to do it then. Like I already made those mistakes ages ago, so it was easier for me at that point. But I do see now the way that businesses are going, everyone's more or less now getting online, which is a positive.
Yeah.
A lot of people are focusing on making things easier for the customers. So I feel like in terms of business, the way that we've kind of adapted, not just us, I'm talking about businesses in general.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah. It's a new...
Making it easier.
Yeah, it's new, it's convenient, it is easier for a lot of people. Okay, so what's the plan for, whether it be you fitness-wise or you business-wise, what's the next couple of months, years, what does it look like for you? What's the plan?
So I think I'm in business myself for 6 years now, yeah? And I think in the last year and a half, the decision that I made within myself is I got to really look after myself and not burn out every few days.
So important. It's so undervalued.
I basically made that decision.
It's so undervalued, isn't it?
Yeah, literally. Because the thing is, because we're passionate about doing what we're doing, you're sometimes thinking, nah, like, this makes me happy, I want to do it anyway. But it takes it out of you.
Yeah, we're in the service industry. We want to help people. We want to put a smile on people's faces.
It takes it out of you, and you're thinking, nah, you know what? I've got to just calm down a little bit and just take it slow. So I feel like I'm trying to just focus on getting my life back as much as I can. Life's short as well, so you just want to live good in it and go out when your time's right. So whether it's fitness, whether it's my personal relationships, my friends, business, whatever it is, just keep it calm. One day at a time.
Just enjoy.
One day at a time. I think that's the right thing to do.
And there's no expectations of having X in this time, Y in this. Like, there'll be goals that you want to do, like, you know, but they're things that can be played around with.
I feel like, some people will make it in their 20s and some will make it in their 60s.
Yeah.
That's the story that's written for them, boy. Because I'm telling you now, just thinking, like, you could read a book by Jeff Bezos, he wakes up at 5, I'll start waking up at 5. You think you're going to be rich?
Yeah, it doesn't work like that.
Stay in bed, yeah?
Get the extra 2 hours sleep.
Stay in bed, yeah?
I do remember being younger and thinking, like, by a certain age I'd have shit together, or I'd have this, I'd have that. But actually, the older I've got, you know, turning 31 this year, like, everything's worked out exactly how it should be.
Yeah.
And I think people often forget that.
Yeah,
You're exactly where you need to be.
Because when I was about 16-ish, I was wondering, when's that time going to be when I grow up and I'm like just an adult about it?
But there's always...
And I'm now thinking, does it ever come?
No.
Does that ever come? I don't think it does. Maybe when you have children it might come. That must be it.
Yeah.
That must be what I think is the next thing for you to be like, man, it's time to just be a bit more sensible about everything.
Yeah,
when you
change a little. Yeah, I think I would. I mean, I don't have children. That would be. I would say. I would imagine that would probably be the same.
I imagine that being the
turning point when you're like, well, I'm actually
all right, cut the crap now.
an adult now. I've got to stop fucking around.
Yeah.
Like,
I've got someone else who's going to be looking at everything I do, thinking that's the right thing to do.
And essentially, you're going to be that role model.
Yes.
Very interesting. Sri, great to talk.
Yeah,
great to share your experiences and your story with everyone. Thank you for joining us. Guys, join back next week for episode 55.